6 years ago, there was only desert here. Now this picturesque lake and forest represent the front line against expanding desert in northern Xinjiang. Mr. Guo Deyong is the man to help transform the landscape. Over the past few years, he and his team have planted 500 acres of trees and constructed a vast reservoir which has turned parts of the Gobi Desert into wetlands.
When we arrived here in 2009, the sandstorms were frequent and could often shroud entire cities and farmlands nearby. Had we let that continue, the desert would have advanced and threatened to swallow the inhabitable oasis.
The threat was urgent, and the key to the puzzle was where to find enough irrigating water in the vast drylands. The answer came from Guo's sewage disposal plant, which recycles all the wastewater in the city of Altai.
Here you can smell this unbearable stink of the sewage which comes all the way from the toilets and kitchens of tens of thousands of Altai households. And here the bigger pieces of the rubbish are now being grinded and then filtered out of the water. But this is just the start of a series of complicated process of the cleaning up.
After initial treatment, the sewage remains highly toxic. The plant set up giant sewage settling tanks inside which they use microbes to trigger a string of biochemical reactions. This turns unwanted materials into sludge, leaving cleaner water at the top.
Here, if you look through the microscope, you can see countless worms we've cultivated eating up unwanted worms in the water. This is the most sophisticated part of the whole cleanup, which requires some cutting-edge technology for this remote part of Xinjiang.
Even after the treatment process is complete, the water remains unfit for drinking. But the plant's chemical examination director says it becomes clean enough to irrigate trees and even to raise fish.
The
first test is the sewage, and you can see it's very dirty. The second is water treated in our plant. The third is tap water in Altai households, and the last is water from the river. By comparison, you can see the water we treated is even clearer than the rest.
For now, Mr. Guo is using the water to irrigate forests. But he has an even bolder ambition, irrigating crops and vegetables in a land where water is scarce.
Theoretically, these vegetables are fit for eating, though you might feel uncomfortable knowing they were irrigated using what used to be sewage. This is still an experiment, and it's under careful review by the government and professionals.
Mr. Guo's project is just a small part of Xinjiang's ecological recovery. This area of Altai alone has seen its forest expand from less than 50 acres in 2009 to over 600 acres today. Local authorities say the tree planting will continue in an effort to build an ecological Great Wall to defend against encroaching sands.
It might be hard to believe, just 6 years ago, this place was all Gobi Desert, just like the terrains beyond this forest. The ecological recovery of Xinjiang needs a combination of technology and investment, and most importantly, the determination of people who realize the irreversible consequence of desertification on this unique landscape. Han Peng, CCTV, Xinjiang.